Hi, this is Sandi Genovese and welcome to this episode of the Ellison Education video series. We are talking about shapes today, and I'm holding a SureCut die that has a square and a triangle and an All-Star or a Biggs die that has several different triangles on there. We're going to need a lot of shapes for the story that I'm going to tell you, so I'm going to start by cutting the shapes. However, I'm going to be cutting them not out of paper, which I could, but I'm going to cut them out of felt. And because I'm using the Biggs or the All-Star die, I need to put the adapter pad and then the crease pad, and then I'll have the die. And I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to be cutting with felt, so I'm going to place this right over the blade on the die. The cutting pad goes on top, and then it rolls through the machine just the same as if you were cutting paper. If you're not aware, your machine can be used to cut anything scissors will cut. So you can see how I have all of these great felt triangles. Let me sort of scatter them here on the table so you can see how fun that is. Well, the reason that we need so many shapes, when you're talking to the students about shapes, I wanted to share a story with you that a teacher in Westminster, California shared with me, because it was a great way to study shapes. And it is a story that took place in Shapeville. And in Shapeville, there were lots of shapes. There were three-sided shapes that were known as triangles. And in this case, there were smaller ones and there were larger ones. The shapes that were triangles also happened to be green. They lived above the rectangles, which in this case happened to be yellow, but notice there's different size rectangles as well, who lived next door to the circles. And the circles were lots of different sizes. They came in sizes. They all happened to be blue. And they lived below the squares. And as you talk about the different shapes, you can reinforce that the square has 4 equal sides, that the triangle has 3 sides, that the rectangle has 4 sides, 2 that are parallel. But as you're talking about the story, the thing that's unique about the story is that the shapes only played with each other. The triangles only played with other triangles, and the squares only played with other squares until one day, accidentally, the triangle fell down the hill and bumped into a square that was playing there, and everybody kind of stopped and realized, oh my gosh, they made a house. And then a rectangle came to complete and create, let me set this down so I can press, so that they created a door, or you could use another square to create a window to the house. The idea that it created something brand new and something fun by combining is such a cool concept. The kids will then, without any prompting, they'll love to want to get in, play with the shapes and see what they can create. If you're not using felt, if you want to, if you have a window in the classroom, you can cut vinyl. Here is an example of a sheet. This happens to be plexiglass just so I can make it look like a window. But I've cut just a few of the different shapes, and I'm going to take, I've cut the vinyl, and I'll set this down long enough to peel the backing off so that I can create a wagon using the circles and the rectangle. So if you had this set up on one of the windows in the classroom, the kids could do the same thing. They could play with the shapes just the way that I was showing you with the felt, but in this case with vinyl. You know, whether you cut the shapes from fabric or vinyl, the result is the same. A shape story that provides a really fun way to learn about shapes.